Thank you for being here, sir.
Riley, thank you for having me today. Honored to be with you.
It's an honor to have you, and I want to start with this question. So now that President Trump has signed the big, beautiful bill into law and it's on the books, when can the American people start to see some, or expect to see, some real results coming from it?
Well, I think people are going to certainly begin to see results come from it as we move forward. Obviously, young families are going to see that child tax credit that's going to kick in as they do their taxes next year. I think, obviously, the fact that the bullet that we dodged by every family in America not seeing a significant tax increase that was on the verge of taking place, that's a major piece. The investment that has been made in this that is going to help us continue to unleash our energy here in the United States and making us not only energy independent, but energy dominant. I believe moving that goal forward is a benefit that all Americans are going to continue to see. And then, of course, the things that we're doing proactively to secure the border, we're all going to continue to see that. Not only did we allocate the funds to be able to finish the border wall, we're putting 10,000 additional ICE agents out there to be able to work. We're securing the border. I think I heard just recently that we had the lowest number of folks trying to get across the border in the month of June that we've ever seen. I just think that's phenomenal. And then being able to give all of these law enforcement what they need, the tools they need to be able to finish hunting down these criminals that have come across the border, that have criminal records. We're wanting to detain them. We're wanting to deport them. All of the things necessary for President Trump to have the tools to accomplish that are part of this one big, beautiful bill. And that's going to make America more and more secure. That's what we're elected to do. And that's what we are going to do. And I think that this bill sets us up and tees us up for that success.
Okay. Now, focusing on the tax cuts for just a moment, sir. Look, it's no secret that the cost of living in this country is absolutely out of control. It's insane, quite frankly. Taxes and inflation and runaway spending, it's making it not impossible to live, but very difficult to live comfortably, even for people who are working morning, noon, and night just to get by. So I want to ask you specifically about these tax cuts. Some people who oppose them and oppose this legislation, so a lot of radical Democrats will say, oh, well, sure, it sounds good, but really this is only going to benefit the rich or the top 1% in America. I would like to have you debunk that because I think that is a ridiculous talking point, and I want to take this time to set the record straight about those tax cuts and what they mean for the average American.
Well, you're exactly right, Riley. I mean, they've been using this same old line that's pulled out of the same old playbook and just saying that these tax cuts only benefit millionaires and billionaires.
Yes.
Well, I got news for you. From my understanding, somebody that's making $40,000 a year, which does not qualify as that millionaire, if we had not extended these tax cuts and made them permanent, they were set to see around a $1,200 increase in the federal taxes that they were going to be paying. That's ridiculous. Again, as I mentioned, the child tax credit that we put in place, that's going to be a benefit for these young families. Not to mention the Trump account for newborn babies that are going to come along here in 25, 26, and 27 and going forward. I just think all of these things are going to be great benefits. These are not millionaires and billionaire issues. These are for average Americans that are working hard, and no tax on tips. I don't know many millionaires and billionaires that are living off the tips that they get. No tax on overtime. Again, there's not millionaires and billionaires that are living off overtime pay. These are critical tax cuts for the average American that is out there trying to pay those grocery prices, trying to deal with the gas issues that Joe Biden left us. And again, when you look at those things, they've already started improving over these first 6 months of this administration. And these tax cuts, I believe, are going to continue to ramp up. Everybody loves certainty. And the certainty that comes with knowing that these brackets are going to remain the same as opposed to the brackets automatically jumping up, those are crucial to American prosperity as we go forward.
Amen. And completely agreed with you. Then looking forward, though, to the future, getting this bill done was a major accomplishment. So congratulations to you, sir, and your colleagues. What I'm wondering, like many others, is what comes next for House Republicans?
Well, I think probably the thing that brought many of us heartburn, even in the midst of this process of this bill, is what the Senate did to it and some of the changes they made and maybe not allowing us to have the spending cuts that we were looking for. And one of the things that I think we're all expecting, I know this president wants to do it, his White House is preparing for it, is to see more and more of the rescission packages coming from the White House up to Capitol Hill. We got the one, $9.4 billion just a few weeks ago. The House took it up. We voted on it. We passed it. We've sent it to the Senate, and they need to go ahead and take action on this ASAP. And then as that gets behind us, we're going to see more and more rescission packages. This first one only took care of some of the USAID things that everybody was so disturbed about in the first 6 weeks of DOJ's work in this administration. And then when you think about NPR and PBS and how we've been subsidizing them for their political propaganda, that's coming to a halt. The Senate needs to go ahead and act, finalize that, so we get that done. And then I think there will be a series of rescission packages, I hope, that we're going to see this White House producing so that we can continue to cut spending. Because again, I say this just about every time I'm with you, we believe that Americans sent us to Washington in November of 24 to do government differently. And this is going to be very important for us to continue on that track.
I hope you're right about that. I mean, you're right about what the American people are looking for. You guys have been given a mandate, and especially since we're $37 trillion in debt. I think a lot of people, they look at that number and it's so big and bloated they can't really wrap their minds around it, but we are deeply in debt, broker than broke, so we have to make cuts, and aggressively so. And with USAID, it's very clear because we don't need Sesame Street workshops in Iraq or DEI workshops in Ireland. So I think we could all agree, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. That's egregious. We don't need to be spending money on that. But there are some other issues when it comes to, say, Social Security. Are we going to continue to bankroll that organization or find a different way to do things and make sure that Americans are protected for financially? I don't have all the answers, but I do hope that DOJ continues full speed ahead under your supervision, because we desperately, desperately need that to happen.
We do. The bureaucracy has gotten out of control.
Yes.
And that's the main thing that this administration has sought to do, is to rein in the bureaucracy, make the cuts where we can make them. And that's going to be absolutely pivotal for our government to be able to continue, and for our nation to not fold in on itself. I mean, that's one of the things we've seen even in the Medicaid information. Dealing with waste, fraud, and abuse is going to actually make Medicaid stronger, and for the purpose that it was created for from the beginning, to help the elderly, help the disabled, help that pregnant woman, help the children that need help. That's what Medicaid was for, not for the 30-year-old basement bum that's living in his parents' basement that is able-bodied and able to work, but refusing to work. Listen, the work requirements we put in there are going to be crucial as well. So I think we're going to see, again, government being done differently, and that's at least our goal that we're working toward right now.
Okay, so promises made and promises kept. I do want to pivot then to one final question for you. Elon Musk starting a brand new political party here in America. I'm not sure what to think about it, but if you'd care to comment, I really would like your thoughts about that.
Well, we've seen this before. We've seen new political parties sort of emerge. Someone has announced it. Listen, Elon has done a great service, or did a great service, as he joined President Trump in the administration in his role. I mean, I think everybody in America agrees that DOJ really went in and allowed us to look under the hood at all of these agencies, many of them for the first time in 100 years. That's important. And I also understand his frustration when he sees that maybe we're not getting spending cuts as quickly as we need to, and that we're dealing with deficits that many of us feel like we need to deal with in a more strong manner. But I also understand there is a process. And President Trump is trying to move through this process, working with Congress to do the things that we need to do. I don't know that it's a help at all to try to go out and form a third party when we can work together and accomplish the things that we're setting out to accomplish. So I don't really know. I certainly haven't had any conversations to know what he's up to or what his plans are. I'm learning about it just as you are. But again, this is a time that Americans that want to see government done differently, we need to unite, and we need to move forward with the agenda that President Trump has set out with America First. And let's get it done, and we can talk about where we're going to go in the future.
Completely agreed. And I know you're very busy, sir, so I want to say thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Riley. Thank you for what you do.